Hi guys, welcome to my affordable watch collection. My name is Aviv, and today we are going to do something we've never done on the channel before. Today we have the first double review of two very similar pilot style watches from San Martin, the SN0095DA and the smaller version of the same watch, the SN0095X-G. Both watches are homages of the Zenith Pilot Type 20 Extra Special, and both watches were sent to me from San Martin for free for review, together with two more watches, the SN0021B-2 Tudor BB36 homage, which I've already reviewed, and the SN0031-C2-G Unimatic U2 homage that is coming up on the channel in the coming weeks. They also sent me a bunch of straps, some of which I'm going to show you here today. None of it has to go back to the company, but you can always expect my own honest opinion of the watches I review. Before we dive right into the review, let me just remind you of the discount codes San Martin kindly provided the viewers of my affordable watch collection. If you check the description of this video, you'll find a $10 off discount code for San Martin's watches, and a $5 off code for their straps. If you do end up buying one of their watches, leave a note to the seller that you've reached them after watching my video, and they will add a free NATO strap to your order. The base price for both watches is $238.70 for an Epson YN55A Pirate version, and that's the only movement that is offered with the larger watch. The smaller watch gives you two more high-beat movement options, and it costs $299.60 for a PT5000 and $430.50 for a Sellita SW200. Both watches sent to me from San Martin are powered by the YN55A. This is my first encounter with this movement. More on that later on. Both watches can be had with a sterile dial for the same money, without the San Martin branding on them. Every watch you order from San Martin today comes in their new cylinder-shaped watch box, which I've already showed you guys a couple of times, so here is what you can expect to get with it. The main difference between the two versions of this Zenith homage is the dimensions, which are 45mm in diameter for the large version, 14.5mm of thickness including the protruding crystal, an odd 23mm between the lugs, and 54.5mm from lug tip to lug tip. It weighs 123 grams. Compared with the smaller one, which measures 40.5mm of case width, 12.8mm of overall thickness, 20mm lug width, and 48mm from one lug tip to another. This one weighs 90 grams, and both watches are 100 meters water resistant. Other than the size difference, both watches share the same elements in different scales, so we're looking at similar dials, hands, loom, similar cases, casebacks, crowns, and straps. Let's take a closer look at all of these. The main color dominating both dials is a very rich chocolate brown, but they do also have a nice fumey effect, where the edges of the dials are darker in color, graduating towards lighter colored centers. They have a very nicely made gravel texture, which I think makes them look like much more expensive watches. Both dials feature printed minute tracks around their edges, white minute and fifth of a minute scales, and orange Arabic numerals indicators marking every 5 minutes. The indices are made up of large, thick, and light green colored Arabics in a very cool vintage style font. San Martin's hexagon logo is found under the 12 o'clock markers, and automatic 100 meters, 330 feet, referring to the water resistance, is printed in white above the 6 on both dials. The dial on the 45mm version is naturally more spacious, while on the 40.5mm one, everything is more huddled together. The hands are sectional cathedral style, brushed and packed full with lume. They are nicely sized and proportioned for each watch, and all are beautifully machined and executed. The lume on these is remarkable. Both dials and all 6 hands feature C3 Superluminova lume compound that is thickly and evenly applied. They shine in a bright green light that will allow you to tell the time very easily throughout the entire night. San Martin always use top quality crystals on their watches, and it's no different on these. The crystals are boxed, double-domed sapphires with anti-reflective coating applied to their undersides. The cases are made of 316L stainless steel and are similarly finished. The fixed bezels are highly polished, and everything else is brushed. The lugs are slim and straight and angled down significantly. That helps the watches wear better on the wrist and is especially important on the larger watch, as we are going to see in a few minutes when we'll get to the wrist shots. Both crowns are huge relatively to the watches. They are onion-shaped and gnarled, providing perfect grip. That was a key feature in the aviation watches of old, as pilots often had to use them while wearing thick gloves. Screw them out and twist up to hand wind the movements. Pull them out one click and you'll find the ghost date position, where you twist them and nothing happens. Pull them all the way out. The second hand stops on both watches, and you can set the time. The case backs are solid chunks of stainless steel, held in place with screws. 6 on the large version, and 4 on the small. They feature a concentric brushed finish, and are blank of any engraved text or design. Now let's talk about that Epson YN55A movement inside these watches. To be exact, let's talk about the Seiko Epson YN55A movements inside these watches. That's right, Epson is a part of the Seiko Corporation, and these movements became more popular with the recent Seiko NH35 shortage. They are essentially an unbranded version of the Orient caliber F6922 automatic movement, the same one you can find inside the Orient Mako 2 and Orient Ray 2. These are often compared to the NH35, and they do share some similarities, like efficient bidirectional winding, 21,600 beats per hour with a 6 ticks per second sweep in seconds hand, roughly 40 hours of power reserve, a date complication that isn't being utilized on these San Martin pilot watches, and both movements utilize the Seiko Diashock shock protection system that helps protect them from drops and blows. The YN55A is made in Japan too, and has 20 joules and a stated accuracy of between -25 to +35 seconds per day. According to my tests with the Watch Accuracy Meter app, the larger SN0095DA runs at +7 seconds per day, and the smaller SN0095X-G runs at a rate of -4 seconds per day. The straps these watches come on are identical, except for the size of course. Both are thick, dark brown colored calf skin leather, with nice contrasting stitchings, quick release spring bars, matching leather keepers, and robust brushed and polished stainless steel buckles, with San Martin neatly engraved on top. These are really top quality, they have that strong leather smell, and are surprisingly limber. Now let's compare these two watches where it matters the most, on the wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist, and this is how the large version looks on me. I have to be honest, this is outside of my comfort zone, but I think I can just pull it off. It does wear very big, with both the large and tall case and the long lug to lug, but it's not to the point that it overhangs off my wrist. This one is definitely meant for larger wrists, and it's not one of those watches that would go unnoticed or slide under your shirt sleeve. And here is the smaller one. Definitely more manageable for me. and definitely more inside of my personal comfort zone. This too is a relatively tall watch, though not as much as the other one. I really like how this one wears. Here they are side by side for a size comparison. Both watches are very comfortable to wear, mainly thanks to the down angle of the lugs and the excellent leather straps. Both watches are extremely legible, and telling the time is as easy as it gets thanks to those bold indices and large hands contrasting against the dark colored dials. The anti-reflective coated crystals will make them easy to read in direct light, and the lume will allow for great readability in the dark. When it comes to your strap options, I think these will look great on many different straps, especially vintage and military styled straps. However, finding suitable straps for the smaller watch will be much easier, as 23mm straps that would fit the larger one are not that common. In fact, I, with my vast strap collection, don't have a single 23mm strap to show you guys. There you go. Now you've seen what both watches have to offer. The main difference between them is obviously the size, and the fact that the smaller one is offered with 2 additional high beat movements. When it comes to the cons, the only thing I can think about is the odd 23mm lug width of the larger watch. Whether or not it is too big is up to you to decide for yourselves. We each have our own personal preferences when it comes to the sizes of the watches we choose to wear. As a side note, I would feel more comfortable with slightly lower prices, though I don't think that these are highly overpriced for what you get. These are great watches, and looking at the pros, you do get a lot for your money with both of them. Great design, mainly thanks to Zenith, beautiful dials that are done very well and are very easy to read, great lume, nice hands, nicely finished stainless steel cases, top-notch leather straps with robust hardware, awesome comfort and presence on the wrist, beautiful sapphire crystals, and automatic movements made in Japan. That is if you choose the YN55A. The bottom line is that it is really hard to find faults with these, and believe me, I tried. My favorite one of the two is the smaller one, just because I think it wears better on me. But I would love to hear which one you guys liked more. Make sure you let us all know in the comments below. If you want to check them out for yourselves, I'll leave the links in the description of this video. These are affiliate links that will not cost you anything extra, but will help generate a small commission to the channel. So I'd greatly appreciate it if you do decide to use them. If you do decide to go ahead and buy one, don't forget to use the discount code San Martin provided us, and to claim your free NATO STRAP as well. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my affordable watch collection, and hit the notification bell for more affordable watches related content. You can also follow me on Instagram and get to know me and my collection a little bit better, get all the news about the channel, and connect with me on a more personal level. Here are a couple of quick links to a couple of my San Martin reviews. Check one of these out next. I want to thank San Martin yet again for sending me all this merch for review, and to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.